Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to our another online class of social studies. I hope you all are fine and safe. God bless you all. Let's start our today's lesson. Today we are going to continue our previous chapter, unit number 2. It's natural landforms and it's on your page number 20 of your book. See this, natural landforms, and page number 20. Okay. Now come up to the topic what we are going to discuss. This one is on page number 24, wind shape landforms, and we are going to discuss wave shape landforms. It's on page number 24 of your book. See this, page number 24. Yes. Now we will discuss in this that what are wind shaped landforms. As we have discussed what are landforms, these are the results of erosion and depositional process. So here we are heading towards the kinds of the landforms. As we have learned glaciated landforms, this one is wind shaped landforms. Basically, wind shaped landforms are formed by the winds. How they form? Means the very smaller particles are moved away from one place to another place, and where they are moving, they are just depositing there and they form large massive structure. So what the landforms are formed, they are the results of wind. Okay. So that's why we are calling them wind landform. How they are just moving from one place to another by wind, and these are very smaller particles which are enough to move from one place to another place easily by having wind, and they are mostly present in arid areas. What are arid areas? Arid areas means less moisty, dry, as like deserts. Okay, so means desert is having some kind of this sand and which can move from one place to another place easily by having the pressure of wind, and where they are settled down, where they are depositing, they form their large landforms which are called wind landform. Is that clear? What are wind landforms? Now wind landforms are having two kinds, erosional and depositional. Means they can be formed by having the process of erosion which is very quick, very fast, as we have discussed earlier, as the result of earthquake. Okay, and depositional, where they are being eroded, the particles, the rock particles, soil particles which are being eroded from one place to another place, and they are depositing there and form large landforms. So these are the two processes by which, as a result of which, the wind landforms are formed. Clear now? Now come up to next, wave shaped landform. Wave as like means having idea of water. Wave shaped landform basically are formed by the pressure of the water, by the wave. They are usually present along the coastal sides. Okay, and they are having these kinds like erosional landforms, headlands and waves, caves, arches, stalks and stumps. Here we will understand properly that what are these tricky terms are, what are waves, what are arches, erosional landform, depositional, as these things we have discussed. But the most important thing which are certain terms are being used here, what are these? For this, what are caves? Caves basically are the large hole. In continental erosion, and the headlands take place and they form large holes in the headlands, due to which, and these large holes are called caves. Okay, continental erosion settle down at the headlands and they form their large holes in the headlands. This would be the large holes are called caves. Is that clear? Now heading towards our next, arches. What are arches? Arches basically these the large hole caves which we are saying large hole, they are called caves, and these caves through back through outside, means when these caves having a pressure certain kind of the thing, means back through from the outside they will form arches. Okay, means the caves arches are the means byproduct, or they form as a result of these caves. Okay, when we are having caves back through outside, means a pressure or some kind of the thing will having over the cave, then they form certain arches. Clear now? Now stalks. Stalks, how the stalks are formed? What are stalks? Over time, arch erode and collapse. Means once the caves are formed, then we are having arches. When these arches are being eroded and collapse each other, they will form large stalk. But it's here I have mentioned over time. It takes long time, means thousands of the years required for this process of the collision, and this we are having the erosion process. So it is a long term process. Then we are having this stalks as a result. Okay. Now come up to stumps. Stumps, what are stumps? Continental erosion which has been settled down in the headlands. They weakens the stalks, means they weakens the stalk, means it's a very massive kind of the erosion which take place in the continents, which is called continental means continental erosion. So this continental erosion basically weakens this stalks, and this weakens the stalks will form these stumps. Means when the stalks are being weakened by the results of continental erosion, they will produce stumps. Clear? Means you are having certain things that note down one thing, that we are having one thing and this thing is producing another thing, means they are having an interlink change between them. So this is something, means we are having the caves are forming, caves are the large holes which are forming, then further arches having the back through pressure from outside. Then we are having stalks how they are formed over the times. When the arches are collapse and erode, they will form stalks. And how the stumps are formed? When the continental erosion take place and the weakens the stalk, they will form stumps. Is that clear? Now more terms we are having. I have explained you erosional landform, depositional landform again and again in my previous lecture, in the earlier of the, in the beginning of this class as well, that erosion is the process of means breaking down one thing, means it is a very quick process by having natural disaster like earthquake. Okay, when the things has been broken down inside the tectonic activities, certain kind of the natural particles move from one place to another place. This is something erosion, and as a result of erosion the deposits will form there. It will be called the depositional landforms. Clear now? Here we are having certain more terms, that water channels. Basically channels are the water bodies which separate one landform to another landform. Okay, then meanders are the curved area form river bends, and they are semicircular, means along the meanders are semicircular in shape, and they form a curved area along the river side. Okay, and what are floodplains? Floodplains are basically the immediate part, immediately settle down the areas after having the flood. Okay, means we are have the pressure of the flood form these floodplains, and mainly along with the river side. Clear now? So these were the terms, these were the things which we have particularly discussed about today: wind shaped landform and wave shaped landform. And the most important thing is the terms which we have discussed in this unit: arches, channels, meanders. We have discussed here that how they are having the connectivity between them, and how they are they are having a variation between them from one to another. Now heading towards the homework, what you have to do in your copies. Now open page number, assessment, your paper, page number 30, assessment, natural landforms. Okay, and here you have to attempt question B today. Question B part 1. Some winds are so regular, powerful and well known, they have names. Research using the internet and list the name of at least 5 winds. So you have to google it, you have to find, you have to search 5 at least name and write it in your copies. Second, research and write about the concept of stream erosion. You have to search it, you have to draw the picture as well, and you have to define the process of the stream erosion by your effort. It should not be too long. Okay, by when 5 into 5 to 6 lines, you have to define in a very comprehensive manner. Clear? Come up to second part, write the definitions for the following term related to the wind shaped landform. We have discussed wind shaped landform on page number 24, and here certain terms name has been mentioned. You have to find their proper definitions, means not in a term of proper, means if it has been given dune. So what are dunes? Why we are calling them dune, and what's the purpose of the dune is? So in few lines it has been discussed on page number 24, where the topic wind shaped landforms has been given. So you have to read the whole page properly and try to write these terms in your own words. It should not be too long. 3 to 4 lines are enough for defining them. Is that clear? Now heading towards the definitions which has been given on homework folder. To solve it, these were the terms and you have to define them by yourself. We have discussed here, we have clear here. Now come up to our last question. This one is part D. Circle the correct answers. Here MCQ 3 has been given and you have been given 4 options, and tick the correct one. Number 1 is the process that turns years of snowfall into ice is what is called? Sculpture, upheaval, comprehension, weathering. It's comprehension. Clear? Glaciers that form in mountainous areas are known as what we have learned. Where the glaciers are formed above the timberline, they are called alpine glacier. So correct will be the alpine glaciers. Clear? Third one is U-shaped valleys have a base that is what is called the base? A flat and narrow, means which kind of the base is present there, means in U-shaped valleys. Flat and wide, steep and narrow, flat and narrow, steep and wide, and it would be flat and narrow. Clear now? You have to write these copy down these key facts in your copy and draw this pictorial graphical presentation effects, and you have to draw this pictorial graphical representation in your copy, which is defining the summary of your whole chapter about the planes which we have discussed. Okay, and do memorize all the things which we have discussed. Write down the definitions properly. It should not be too long. Okay, I hope you have got everything properly which we have discussed today. If you are having any problem, do ask on the given WhatsApp number. We will definitely respond you as soon as possible. Till then, inshallah we will meet in our next class. Till then, take care and Allah Hafiz.